There were moments when I was completely broke, or even less than broke. I owed a lot more money than I had in value. And I don't think there's ever a day you don't have a major challenge or thing that you have to overcome. But looking ahead and trying to remember the good things in the past, I try to forget the regrets or bury the regrets or make them less of a thing to concentrate on. And often those moments of life you remember. And recently had a moment, the Oakport half marathon, which is sponsored by Shipyard, and first thing in the morning Portland comes alive, and over 70% of the people that ran in that race came from outside the state of Maine, which was pretty awesome. And I think there was over 6,000 or 7,000 runners. Really spectacular. And at that moment I looked at Bruce and said, Brucey, we did it, man. I try to focus on the things I have, can have gratitude and be thankful for, because honestly, at the end of the day, it's what makes you feel good in order to keep moving and keep going. And when you have tragedies and things that happen, you just figure out, okay, how are we gonna overcome that? How are we gonna go there? So there's a picture of my mom and dad. My dad was probably younger than I was, and then there's a picture I left of our whole family. And I remember those moments. I actually remember seeing this picture for the first time with my mom. She told me they were at some ball or gala, and she used to like to say, your father's a terrible husband, but a great father and a great date. And recently, when I was watching a YouTube video with Lex, and he was talking about an if poem that was inscribed on a knife that was given to him by a friend, and he ended up reading the whole if poem. And the funny thing was my dad gave me that poem. I ended up having to recite it in front of the whole 4th, 5th, and 6th grade, and I did it because I ended up doing it well in our small class. And that poem is something I take out and read every once in a while about life and becoming a man. And, in today's world, it's appropriate for everybody, in my opinion. But there are lines in it that I think back onto, and when you're pressured, you talk about. So the whole thing of moments are kind of defining and critical. I remember the moment I was shut out of the brewery by my partners, pretty much, and I had to somehow convince them we could move on and work through our issues, and my goal was to buy it back. We had a 50-50 partnership with American Specialty Craft Beer. At the time, the beer industry was in tough shape, or at least craft beer was, and we weren't making money. In fact, we were insolvent as a company. And I vowed that I would buy out and get back the shares of Miller, and that was in 2000. We actually accomplished that. And but that moment I remembered, and there were a number of people that said, why do it? It's not making money. What are you going to do? But thank God I had that moment. I remember the moment where I said to myself, I'm going to do it. What are your moments? Put them in the comments down below. They don't need to be, huge. It can be short statements. But what drives us and pushes us are being able to take a moment and turn it into something that gives you a goal or inspires you, or causes you to push on. And it can be a devastating moment. You blow out your ACL and you're an athlete, and at some point you've got to say, I'm going to overcome this, or I'm going to push ahead. And I think at the end of the day, that moment, there are moments when you can decide to quit, or you can decide to push on. Don't let the past define you either. I feel very thankful for a lot of recent moments, and we're going to look back in our future videos, and in these videos we're going to look back many years, and we're going to look forward many years, and try to set some goals, future interests. And right now, the beer business, and I'm in a variety of other business, real estate, and a few others, but the beer business is very challenged right now. It's I don't think ever been more challenged. There are a number of breweries in the country that are pushing to survive, and Shipyard's very challenged in a variety of ways, but we're very fortunate also to have great people involved in the company, and be positioned, in a position where we're globally positioned in the UK, and in locations, like in Treasure Island, and our other great relationships with accounts. So in any event, it's a kind of cold, rainy day in Portland, Maine today. And those are the days you hunker down a little bit and think about things like this and talk about it, but that's one of the reasons why I'm talking to you from inside my bit of my man cave here. But I would say to you and say to others, enjoy the moments, remember the moments, and the bad moments, try to bury and forget as much as possible, because your soul will remember those anyways. But at the end of the day, have a great moment. Cheers.